Hello students, welcome back. In the last session, we have discussed parameter passing from HTML to the Java applet. To pass parameters from HTML to the Java applet program, we use the param tag, and the same values can be read in the applet by using getParameter method. So that we have discussed in the last session. In today's session, we will discuss getting input from user. It is possible to get input from the user at the time of execution by using applet. So applet can be used to create a graphical program which displays different components to read input from the user. Some of the basic components which can be used to take input from the user are like text fields, radio buttons, check boxes, drop down menus. So these are some components which can be used to create or be used to take input from the user. So such a program which includes all these components can be created in Java using Java applet. So in today's session, we will go through an example program which reads or which simply displays some components on the applet screen, and also the information which is entered in this component can be read and displayed on the applet. So let's start with the example program. Okay, to execute the applet program or to type the applet program, we can use any editor. So let's start. I'll use a Notepad++. When I say applet program, we have to import certain packages. The first thing which is required to write an applet program, it is import java.io.applet. So this is the package which contains the class applet, so we have to import this package. Apart from this, we have to also import one more package called as java.awt package. AWT here stands for Abstract Windowing Toolkit, and this package is necessary because all the components we are supposed to create in this example program are defined in the package AWT. So this package AWT contains different component classes which can be used to create a GUI. Okay, then we have to write a public class. So public class, say we are writing a program to read inputs from the user. So I'll say user input. This is my class name, and as this is an applet, our class name should extend to a class called as applet. So it is extending applet. Then we can override the method init. So public void init. Init is the first method which is executed in the applet lifecycle. So while creating a GUI, we have to create it inside the init method. Now the applet window, the top level window, is created by the class applet. So this class applet provides us the top level window. We have to create the other components on the GUI. So right now we want to create a GUI which contains only two components, that is one label which displays a message enter your name, and a text field which is used to read the name from the user. So to create a label, we have to create an object of a class label. So label, say object name is L1, is equals to new label. Okay, and we have to pass a message which is to be displayed on the label. So enter your name. In the second component which we want to create, it is text field. Text field, it is a rectangular component which is used to read value from a user. So text field T1 is equals to new text field. Okay, and we can pass the size of text field here. So size is 15, that means 15 characters are displayed at a time in the text field. So two components which are required in the program are created. Now we have to add this component on the container by using a method add L1. We'll add a label on the applet screen, that is our container, and add T1, that will add our text box on the container. Okay, so unique method is closed, then the class is closed. So this is a simple program which displays two components, that is a label and a text field. Okay, let's save this program. Save it with a name user input .java. Okay, so our applet program is created. We have to compile this program. To compile, open CMD and to compile it, we have to type a command javac space the file name, that is user input .java. Okay, there are certain errors which we have to remove. In the first case, the errors are, that is package java.io.applet does not exist. Again, the package which we have imported here, it is java.io, it is not java.io, it is java.applet.star. Okay, so again, once again I'll compile the program. Now you can see there are no errors. Now once we have written the applet program and compiled it, the second part is to write the HTML file, because Java applet program cannot be directly executed. Applet program have to be embedded inside the HTML. So we have to write an HTML file for that. And as we have seen an HTML file in the last session as well, HTML file always starts with the tag HTML and it is closed with the tag HTML. And apart from HTML, we can have a body tag which includes the actual body. Now to embed applet inside HTML, one more tag is used, the tag is applet. This tag has three important attributes. The first is code, which is equals to the class name or the compiled class file name of our program. That is also our file name, that is user input. Then the other two attributes are width of our applet, say 500, and also the height. So this is the width and height of our main container. Okay, so that is defined and we need to close applet. So that's it. This is the code to embed applet inside HTML. After that, save the program. So HTML file always have to be saved with a extension, that is .html. Name can be any name, but extension has to be .html. The file has been saved. Now we are ready to go. We are ready to execute. So we have compiled our Java program earlier. Now we will execute the HTML file by using applet viewer space the name of our HTML file. It is user input. It is the same name, but the extension is different. That is why both the files are different, remember. So we have applet viewer user input.html. Press enter. Now you can see when I press enter, it has opened the applet. So this is our applet container on which we have two components. First is label, which displays enter your name, and second is text field, where there is a cursor. Text fields, as I've said, it is used to read information. So I can enter any textual information in the text field. Right now it is taking input in that field, but we are not reading that data in the program. We are just typing the information. But it is possible to read the information which is entered in the text field and process it. So we will modify the same program to read the information from the text field, and whatever information we enter in the text field, the same information again we will display on the applet at the bottom. We will display a message like your name is, and whatever name the user enters, the same name we will display. Now to do this, in the program we will do two things. We will include a paint method first. Using paint method we are going to print it. Again there are other ways to do the same thing. So paint method we will use here, public void paint, and it takes one important argument, that is graphics G. Then we have to read the value from the text field first. So I'll take a variable over here, string of s is equals to, I want to read it from t1, so which is declared here. So I'll say t1 dot get text. So get text is the method which allows you to read value from the component. So once we have a value s, we can print it by using a method of graphics class. So g dot drawString. So this is the method of a graphics class which can be used to print the string. So I'll say s comma where exactly you want to print the string. So let's just say we want to print a string at position 50 comma 250. So that is xy position we are specifying, that we have studied in the last class also. Okay, so we are printing a string. Okay, so we have a paint method which prints a string. Now the problem with the paint method is immediately executed after the init method. So even before we enter the value in the text field, paint method is executed. Means immediately after creating a GUI, it go to the paint method, and paint method we are reading a value from this text field. There is no value initially, so that blank value is read and stored in s, and it will print the blank value. So we will not get any output on the screen. But in the program, what we want to do is, after the GUI has displayed, user will enter something in the text field, and when user presses an enter key, at that time we want to call a paint method which reads the value from the text field and displays it. That can be done by overriding a method. The method is action method. The method is action method. So it is public, return type is boolean, method is action, and this method takes two arguments, that is action event argument, that is action event e, and object o. Okay, and there is a return type. The return type is boolean, so we will return a value that is true. Okay, now what exactly we want to do is, whenever a user presses an enter key, automatically it will call a method action. Remember, in the program, whenever a user presses an enter key on the keyboard, automatically it calls a function that is action. From the action we want to again call the paint method, and we can recall the paint method by using a method called that is repaint. When I say repaint, again it goes to paint method, and it will again say t1.execute, which reads the text which is entered in the text field and displays it on the applet screen. Now let me save the program and verify it. So we will, okay, as we have done some modifications in the program, we need to compile it again. So we have compiled. Okay, at the time of compilation you can see there are certain errors like class action event, there is an error, and there is an error also for t1. So we will remove these errors first. Okay, the first error was at action event. So actually the class name here, it is not action event, but it is simply event. So it is event. Okay, there is one more error about t1. So the error was t1 not found. Actually, if you look at the program, t1 is not declared in paint method, but t1 is declared inside init. So anything which is declared inside a method, that is not accessible outside the method, but t1 we are trying to access it outside the method. That is the reason we have to declare t1 in the class section. Okay, so let us declare t1 in the class section. So I'll copy it from here, text field, and I'll paste it here. Now we have declared text field T1 in the class. When we declare a variable in the class, that is accessible all over the class. So it may be init method, it may be paint method, it may be any other method. So we can access the variable anywhere in the class. So we have changed the declaration of T1 from init to class section. So from the init, I'll just remove the declaration part. Only init contains the instantiation part of the object. So object is declared in the class section, it is instantiated in the init section. Okay, now let us again compile the program. I'll clear the screen and compile the program. Okay, there are no errors now. So let us execute it by using applet pivot. Now you can see it is displaying a GUI. So let me enter the value here now, and if I press an enter key there, you can see it is displaying a message on the applet screen. So this is how we can get an input from the user in applet. So the input can be typed in any of the input controls, and the input can be read in the program by using a method that is getText, and the same can be displayed on the applet screen by taking an help of the paint method as well. Now here it is displaying only the contents of the text field. You can even display a message. Say I want to display a message, your name is, then I can include it here directly. I can say your name is, and some space, and I can concatenate it with the variable s. Variable s contains the text which is entered in the text field, remember. So I have made changes, so I'll again compile the program. Okay, there are some errors. Actually double quotes missing, so I'll include double quotes over here. Okay, compile it again. Compiled, run it. Now you can see it is directly displaying your name is, because paint method is executed once before. Now when I enter a name here and when I press enter key, again it will go for paint method and it will display your name is, and whatever we entered, the same message will be displayed. So this is the program which demonstrates getting inputs from user in applet. Okay, so with this we will stop here today. We will discuss with the applets in the next session as well. We will stop here. Thank you.